So we have with us Layla Forêt and another guest as well, Shaelee Evans from Goodness Tea. And we are going to be talking about the Farmers and Artisans Market today, as we always do on Friday. And that's, I said first Friday? Nice try, Jim. But it is Friday, and we always have this interview to find out what's going on with the farmers market. So I will start off with Shaelee of Goodness Tea. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, I'm a tea farmer. I just am totally in love with our ecology, and it's so fun to be growing delicious things and help people get that nutrition and that flavor in an easy, accessible way in a cup of tea.
Cool. Well, we'll come back with you on this. Layla, tell us what's going on at the market.
Yeah, so it's the last market of the month, which means it's Senior Day. So if you identify as a senior citizen, you can come by our info booth and get a coupon for $2 to spend at the market. First 50
what
people.
Do I have to, how old?
Gosh, I feel like it's 55. I think
Wow.
it varies by state, though. I haven't checked for Washington. Admittedly, I don't know for Washington. But
Okay.
You can come by the info booth. We'll chat about it. We'll get you a coupon. And then also, if you bring your reusable bag, another $2 coupon for the first 50 people who show up.
Nice.
And then we also have two community organizations joining us tomorrow. We have Sunbonnet Sioux Quilting Club, who meets every week.
Right.
They're going to be there showing off their goods. You can sign up, learn more about their program. They also do a quilt show during Lavender Fest, which is pretty popular. And then the Sequim Wheelers are also going to be there. They're an active group that offers free wheelchair bike rides.
Yeah, I've heard about them. That's a pretty awesome group.
Yeah, it is. And I always see them out at the Dungeness Railroad Bridge Park. Yeah, and it's, if you like biking and you want to meet people, it's a great way to be active while also helping.
Shaelee, tell us about Goodness Tea and what kind of stuff that you want to educate the public about.
Yeah, my heart in starting this Goodness Tea was first to take care of my family, but beyond that to also take care of my town. And I love how farming and being a producer is a great way to nourish people and also to educate people. I'm hoping that the loose leaf tea in the store kind of opens people's eyes to some of the local plants that grow here that are nourishing, abundant, and delicious. And even more so, we've started making seltzers, called Salish Seltzer, in celebration of our water and our local heritage. And the great thing about these is they're all botanicals that I've grown or bought from local farms or foragers.
So it's all local stuff.
Yeah, and it's from our great tested well water. So it's all our watershed, all our plants, and it's accessible, like nettle rhubarb. Nettle and rhubarb are both super abundant. It's like kind of hard to not know how much they spring up.
I've got a field of nettle.
Exactly, but you might not eat it. I mean,
Right.
A lot of people do, but some people don't know how nourishing it is. And just do a little web research on what's in nettle and what's in rhubarb, and it's kind of mind-blowing how great they are for you. So to put them in tea or to put them in your seltzer makes all that nutrition bioavailable, so your body can make good on it.
Nice. Yeah, that's we've been watching a series on Netflix that deals with micronutrients and stuff, and all the stuff you're talking about is basically hitting home with that exact same thing. And so I'm definitely going to be hitting you up at the Farmers and Artisans Market to find out more about it. So anything you want to jump in there with, Layla?
Yeah, I feel like every time I've been at the market and I've gone by your booth, you're always chatting it up with people. You're doing your taste testing, and then just sharing this wealth of knowledge about medicinal wild plants we have in the area. And last time we talked, you called them the unsung heroes of the nourishing medicinal world. And I loved that because there are a lot of local native plants that are really good for our environment, really good for each of us to learn about and find their medicinal value. And I think that the fact that your products bring that knowledge in a very delicious way to the community is really beautiful. And I feel like we're lucky to have you here as a vendor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, tea is an amazing product all the way around. I mean, it's so healthy, and well, with the right stuff, it's healthy. But it's like I said, this series that we've been watching deals with people that are over 100 years old all over the world, and one of the key things that they talk about is teas, and it's not complex teas like your store-bought ones. It's very simple teas. So tell us a little bit about your operation and what you've done and how you got into it.
Well, I was first inspired to start making tea when I had my first child. My midwife was like, "Oh, make this infusion." And I drank it, and I was like, this is kind of like swamp water. And so I started researching plants on what can I add to this that keep it nutritious but make it yummy. And it's awesome to drink herbal infusions, and there's a whole lot of value in these intense brews. But there's also value in having something you're just drinking all the time that's good for you. So many vitamins and minerals. So, if I get rose hips, there's some vitamin C to make the iron more bioavailable. So that's one example. Put your rose hips with your nettle. That's my Squatchy's Delight blend right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, are these caffeinated, decaffeinated, or both?
It's a mix. So I'm growing the Korean green tea as well. It does great in our climate, but they're a slow-growing plant. So some of the green and black comes from a farm in Oregon. Most of the herbs come from here. And I was able to get a USDA ag loan to buy the farm I've been renting last year. So now that I have the farm base for sure, I'm starting to kind of discontinue the teas that required more exotic ingredients, and I'm just so excited to be working on shifting all my blends to being from here.
That's awesome. Now, is your farm open to the public?
Kinda. There's, as is with pretty much any older farm you get, there's a lot of work to be done to get it there. So there is like a bathroom building. There's the awesome commercial processing facility where I make teas. There's not a storefront yet, but if people order stuff online and say they want to local pickup, it's still beautiful. The processing facility is awesome, and people can come by and pick things up. We host work parties sometimes, and maybe we'll be ready for the farm tour when that happens this later summer.
Work parties as in people from the public helping to harvest?
Yes, I'm proud to be a part of the Clallam Growers Collective, which a lot of the regenerative farmers and Sisterland Farm, Wild Edge kind of formed in Port Angeles, Clallam County, and we have a work party on a different farm every month. So this will be the maybe I think third year that's been happening, and I'm hosting the work party in November. But look that up. It's a great way to show up at different farms and lend a hand. That
sounds cool. Having a grandfather that was a farmer, it's kind of in our blood. So I like that. And how long have you been a vendor at the Artisans Farmers Market?
I think my first year was probably 2016, when it was where Whimsy Park was. Yeah. Okay.
And so you've been doing it quite a while. Cool. Okay. Not new to the program. And what's your favorite thing about being a vendor there?
I love being able to build relationship with the farmers and just the environment and the artists. There's something about being with all these passionate people who love what they do. And also this great opportunity to get those unique pieces of art or seasonal vegetables, like the nutrition and the quality of the artwork. People pour their souls into what they bring to the market. And so being in that environment is so encouraging to me. And I feel like I meet the best folks, the small business owners, and then the travelers and the locals who come out. It's always a great time on a big or small day, whatever the weather. The people who are there are awesome.
That sounds fun. And I agree. I go out there, and I always like buying stuff that has a story. It's not I'm buying it off the shelf and it's got a barcode on it. It's something that's unique, has a story. I even did that with my house. It's a log home. So anyway, so Layla, back to you finally. What's going on with the market, and do you have the same kind of programs? What's that one that I really like? Just because it helps people out with their nutrition and stuff.
Program.
The match program.
Yeah, that happens every week. So if you are someone who has a SNAP, EBT, WIC, farmers market nutrition program card that comes through the state, you can visit our info booth and get additional money for free to spend at the market.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So for example, if you have a SNAP EBT, we can match up to $40. So if you come and take $40 off your card, you actually get $80 to spend at the market, which goes a long way. And it creates access in our community for like fresh, nutrient-dense, local food that you might not be able to find if you're going to the grocery store, and you wouldn't be able to use that match program. And that's funded in part through our Sound Community Bank partnership, which is really amazing. They've been really showing up for us in the community the last couple of years, helping fund that.
That's great. And it's so important to have the local nutrients here where you're living, not just because you're supporting the farmers that are here, but it's healthier for you. It's the what's the pollens and stuff that are around us, so it helps combat allergies and things like that.
Yeah, it helps people be invested in the places they live. Right, they care more about the water, the lands, the people in the community that they're supporting who actually grow the produce, and I think it's just supports everybody's well-being all around, which is wonderful.
Cool. So you had some thing that you were going to bounce off of?
So last time I was there, I was trying some of Shaelee's Salish seltzer line, and I think it'd be cool if you shared them with them about like how they're ultra seasonal produce and like what lineup you have now, and just maybe talk a little bit about your process for working seasonally.
Sure, and I think it ties into what you guys were just talking about local produce. When you're getting stuff at the farmer's market from the farmers, these are people who care about their soil, care about the nutrition, because it's what we eat, and we want to be healthy. So you get that peak stuff that's really good for you. And that's the heart behind the Salish seltzers. Each recipe is something that's seasonally abundant, super good for you, and it's kind of a gem of this area. And a lot of these cool ingredients that we use in food like come from somewhere, and it's like an area or region is known for whatever is spectacular. And each of the Salish seltzers highlights that. Aronia Rose is one of them. Aronia is like a great, highly antioxidant berry, and I got those from Beanstalk Farm, Kia Armstrong. Rad farmer, been around for a while. And so I got a bunch of her berries last year, and they're dried. And so I mixed that with rose petals, and it's just like a taste of this like floral majesty. Another flavor is reishi and roasted dandelion. So that has our native Ganoderma organense, the reishi mushroom, which is like fantastically medicinal, been researched in China and Asia for a long time. And so we have our native one. And then also the cultivated lingxi, which is the Chinese version. So that's been cultivated by a farmer in Chimicum. So we got both of those, and then a roasted dandelion root, which is delicious, great tonic. And so, those are like two of the flavors. Nettle rhubarb we mentioned earlier. And a fun spring one-off, which is like limited, is dandelion flowers and then currant leaves and flowers. And then I had a little bit of white currant fruit from my farm that I dried from last year that got thrown in there. And just the potency of the bioflavonoids, it's a fancy word of like plant compounds that are good for you.
Right. Exactly.
And the cool thing about plants, and the thing I love so much about herbal tea, is that every plant has its own kind of like fantastic factory where it synthesizes something.
Right.
And you can smell it in the like resins of the currant leaves. And that's another native plant. So we have the European currant that has the juicy berries that I grow some of that too, but the wild Ribes sanguineum has just this great flavor, beautiful red flowers, and they make a tea blend or the like brewed or just to look at. It's just like, it's like lovely sparkles.
That's cool. Well, I look forward. Do you have tastings over at the farmers market?
I do. So one of the funnest things about the booth is just like free samples are so fun to receive and to give. And so we have the chocolate, which honestly, I think last year we might have sold more chocolate than tea because it's a lot easier to go through that.
There's just something about chocolate. I think it's up there with mac and cheese for comfort food.
Yeah. Well, and also with loose leaf tea where you're like just looking at it. It's not necessarily like you just want to brew it all the time, but put it in your mason jar. It's not too hard. But if I can have a sec to mention the chocolate, it's a whole food chocolate. So I use whole dates and date syrup to sweeten it. And
Ooh.
then it has botanicals, like the mint that I grow. I originally harvested those rhizomes from the West End here on the peninsula, and then that's the mint I grow, and that's the mint that's crumbled up.
Wow.
And it's crumbled up and ground into the bar.
Oh, I got to try that too.
We'll get a sample at the market.
Now,
I'll be there tomorrow.
you know the thing that's really bad is Country Amy Lynn will be with me, and she's on a diet, and she can't touch the chocolate unless she decides to touch the chocolate.
Well, it's sweetened with dates. Tell her that. It's not sugar.
It is.
There you go. It's healthy. It's good for the biome.
Yeah, well, look up the nutritional value of dates and cocoa. It's like practically a supplement. Really.
It's a health food.
It is.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
like that. Cool. Is it dark chocolate or?
It's a dark chocolate.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else that you want to talk about? We've got about 3 minutes left.
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up with, if anybody wants to get involved with the market, we have volunteer opportunities now. You can go on to squimmarket.com, check out our new volunteer page, and sign up. You can do anything from helping out at the kids booth. If you want to flex your muscles, you can help us set up picnic tables. But yeah, it's a great way to meet people in the community, meet local producers, hang out with us at the info booth.
I'm not sure of our schedule tomorrow, but all things willing, I will try to be there tomorrow just to say hi and do some tasting. So very cool to see you both, and thank you for introducing Shaelee to us. And
Thanks.
thank you, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week again.